Do 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 do. Yeah, good. Hey everybody, I'm Tom Bassel, and a good morning if you're in America. It's early here, 6:30 a.m., but I'm always up at this time anyway. So we're going to be playing um, one, maybe two abstract strategy games. Me versus the internet. If you've never seen how this works, I will play against you. I'll pick one person from the chat room to basically make the moves for everybody, and then you can all give that person advice. You'll notice that I marked the board here so you can see where things are. So this spot here would be A4. This spot here would be D3. This spot here would be G2. All right, so what we're going to be doing here first is we're going to be playing Martian chess. Now, a couple things. I'm going to explain the game, how it works in just a moment to you. But one of the things you need to realize is that there is a delay between me and you. So sometimes you'll make your move and then you'll have to wait, 20 seconds to see the move actually being made. But we'll try to be as quick as we possibly can. We're going to be doing several live things over the next couple weeks. Obviously, the really big one, it will be the 30 hours of gaming in a week or so, but we'll be doing some other ones also. Now, so as we play this game here, first thing we're going to do is we're going to go over the rules. This is Martian chess. This is from the Pyramid Arcade set. There's many games in Pyramid Arcade. This is one of my, if not my favorite ones. It is a two-player. You can play more than two players, but it's essentially a two-player game. You can use any color pyramid. However, I used colors to show the sizes, so it's easiest. So the big pieces, which are queens, are black. They're worth 3 points. Then we have the drones. They're the medium pieces. They're white. And then the small pieces are yellow, and these are considered pawns. Now, this is called Martian chess, and the main rule about this game is these are my pieces, these are your pieces. If this piece moves over here, it is now your piece. Anything on your side of the river in the middle is your piece. And you're trying to capture as many points worth of pieces of your opponents as possible. The game will end when one person has no pieces on their side. But if I move a piece over here, now that piece is yours, and you then could move it back. You can never undo the actual move that I just made. So if I go here, you can't go back. But if I went here, you might go here and capture this small piece here. Now, the pieces, how they move is pretty simple. The pawns, they can move one space diagonally. That's it. Easy enough. So they're going to move around like that. The drones can move one or two spaces either direction, horizontally or diagonally. So they can move like that, or they can move like this. And then the queens move just like a queen in chess, so they could go all the way over. But remember, moving a queen, if this piece wasn't here, I could move this queen all the way here, but then I'm giving you a chance to come back and capture my own queen. So the first thing we want to do is we want to see who here wants to be in charge, what I'll do is I might switch it out throughout the thing, because I have a hard time beating a hive mind, right? You guys should easily be able to beat me. So if I switch the person who's in charge, that will occasionally give me some sort of advantage. So if you want to be in charge, I'll say who that is. And the way that we'll do the moves is when it's time for you to make a move, you would say something like C4 to E2. So just C4-E2. Then I know it goes from here to here. And you'll have a chance to go back and forth like that. So right now I'm just waiting for somebody to say that, hey, they want to be the one who plays against me, and we will get started. For those of you who are watching and with us this morning, and wow, there's 100 people here. Of course, there's probably people in Europe who it's in the middle of the day for them, or people maybe in Asia who it's the end of the day for them. We are running our fundraiser right now for the Dice Tower, so we would love to for you guys to consider backing that. Many people have already done so, but there are many things still going on there that you can back and see. And I'm not seeing any chat at this point in time, and I'm starting to wonder if things are working properly here. Is everyone there? Oh, there we go. I was seeing some chat. Still waiting for someone to step up. Don't worry if you don't know how to play the game. Everyone else in the chat room is going to help you. Come on, that's like 100 and what is it right now? 117 to 1. You guys should easily be able to do so. All right, Kevin is now the player. All right, Kevin, so I'm going to go first, and we're just going to go back and forth from there, and we'll be able to decide. Basically, I'm going to make a move. So, for example, this will be my first move. I'll go from C3 to D2, because pawns can move diagonally, and that's my first move. So now it's your guys' move. You're going to help Kevin out and decide where to go. So while we're waiting for Kevin to make a move, this thing at the beginning here, my logo, that is a sticker. It's a pretty cool sticker. This is one of the backing things in the fundraiser itself. Also, there's a little expansion for this game, Pyramid Arcade, in the fundraiser too. So keep that in mind. I should probably put a... all right. I should probably put a stretch goal in the fundraiser for me to stop writing on my boards. That'd probably make people feel better. All right, so we have a couple people giving Kevin some ideas. One person said that he should move from F3 to E2, kind of the reverse for me. One person says from F2 to E3, or over here to here. But Kevin is going to be the one to decide which one of those moves to make at this point in time. And either way, if you are the person who's making moves, you need to make the moves kind of quickly so that we don't get... Okay, so Kevin says F2 to E4. That is not a legal move. F2 can only move diagonally. It can go to E3, but F2 cannot go to E4 unless you meant F3 to E4, which is a legal move. But F2 cannot go to E4 because you can only go diagonally one space. You couldn't go diagonally and down one. So I'm going to wait to see what the actual move is because... Oh, F3 to E4. Okay, there we go. So that's your opening move. So then my opening move, my second move here is I'm going to take this one. Do I want to do that? Yes, I do. No, I don't know if I want to do that. Yeah, why not? Okay, so I'll move here and capture this piece. So I have 1 point. So now it's your guys' turn. I'm not so sure because, see, I've given you that piece now, and you can do something in return if you want, but we're going to have to wait and see. I have some ideas here. All right, so Martian chess, by the way, is the second game ever invented for pyramids. There's a lot of different pyramids games that have been made over the course of the year, and they marketed this as the 100,000-year-old game with Mars, like basically a thing. Could you put a window on screen showing your chat? It helps us know who you're ignoring and who you haven't seen yet. I don't actually understand that. I'm not ignoring anybody. I don't actually know if I can put a window. I suppose I could. That's an interesting thing. I wonder if I could do that. The games for this is Martian chess, for those of you coming in, and they say, what game is this, and how do we know what other games are planned for this live stream? Well, this is only going to be like an hour or so it's not going to be many games. It depends on how long this game takes to see if we play another game or not. Kevin says G2 to E4. So we have G2 to E4. Well, actually, Kevin, just to explain the rules again, this is now your piece. You can control this piece. So you can't capture this piece. It doesn't give you anything because it's yours. You could use this piece to come back and capture me. And this is kind of the weird thing with this game. These are my pieces. By me capturing your piece, I gave you control of this piece. You have the opportunity to come back and capture my piece, but then it's my piece again. And that's what I think is unique and interesting about this game. You have to be kind of careful. You got to try to capture a piece without giving them a chance to use that same piece to come back and catch one of yours. Yeah, that's kind of what happens here. Let's see if I can crop this. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. That's super freaky there. For me to put the chat on, I would have to have it set up ahead of time before we started running the thing, because I would have to crop it and put it on. So I apologize. I can't add the chat right now. E4 to B2. All right. Again, you can only move 2 spaces. So that is 1, 2. You could go to C2, but you can't go to B2 because that would require you to go 2 and over 1. So you need to, I mean, you could go to C2 if you wanted to, but you can't go to B2. And again, there's no worries here. This is the first time, probably most of you have seen this game before. So there's a lot of things going on. So right now I'm winning. I have 1 point to your 0, but of course you could easily get a point here, but then you're giving the piece back to me. The drone does move 2 spaces. You can go 1, 2, but you can't go 1, 2, and then over 1. It's not like a diagonal knight type piece. So let's see. I'll read you some E4 to E2. All right, so you're going to move from here to here. All right, that's interesting. Let's see. So for me, I'll move. And by the way, drones can move 1 or 2 spaces, but I'm going to move. Do I want to do that? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this piece up here like that. All right. Okay, over to you guys. Yeah, you can't move through pieces. It has to be through an unobstructed space according to your movement ability. So once again, for those coming in, pawns can move 1 space diagonally only. Drones can go 1 or 2 spaces horizontally or vertically. Oh, that's right. Drones can't go diagonal. Sorry. So I think, have we made any incorrect rules yet so far? No. So these guys can't go diagonal. My apologies. I messed that up. So you could not have captured this piece. So now that just blew the whole thing, ruined the whole game. Sorry about that. But these guys can't go diagonally. They can only, and I just moved them diagonally. So I will actually move them here to fix that. All right. So these guys can only move diagonally. These guys can only move horizontally or vertically. And then these guys can move in any direction as far as you want. They're the most powerful piece. Now, if you have no queens on your side, you are allowed to combine a drone and a pawn together to make a queen if you want to. So, again, my apologies for messing up that rule. Once more time, diagonal only, horizontal, vertically only, any direction as far as you want. So we are going to restart the game because I already seen people complain dramatically. All right, so once again, let's start with my opening move. All right, your turn. There's always somebody who's like, oh, that ruined everything. But that's okay, it's an easy enough game to restart. So up to D, from C3 to D2. Kevin says, well, Kevin already made a move when me restarting. So let's just restart and go over again. And this is what happens when you misspeak. This brings up an interesting thing here about rules mistakes. I'm always kind of mind boggled that people get really upset when others make rules mistakes because there are so many rules. We break rules in real life all the time. You're like, oh, I forgot about that thing. In games, it can be difficult. And this is a simple game. It doesn't have a lot of rules, but it's really easy to make a rules mistake. But it's how you deal with the rules mistakes. Like for me, it's not so hard to restart this game, right? It's not a big deal. And for people playing, had we decided not to restart, that also shouldn't have been that big of a deal because, again, it's just a game, and I think you got to kind of roll with the punches with these. Again, for those of you just popping in, this is Martian chess. The goal is to capture as many pieces of your opponents as possible. The pieces on your side are yours, but once you move them across the line, they are your opponent's pieces. Kevin is starting out here with FE to E4. I'm going to assume you mean F3 to E4. So moving this piece here. All right, so we made the first same two opening moves. I will make my third opening move again, where I take this one and capture your piece. All right, so now it is back to you guys as to what decision you're going to make next. So far I'm winning. I've captured one piece of your points. However, you guys now control this piece because I moved it across the line. Once I move a piece across the line, it is yours. Jonathan says, the fewer the rules, the worse it is when one is broken. If there were 2 rules, 1 rule broken is 50% of the rules broken. That's true. And I'm not excusing breaking rules. What I'm saying is I think how we react to rules being broken often shows how we are as a person. My parents used to laugh at me when I was a kid because I would yell at all the neighbor kids that we were breaking the rules of various games. And my dad would always be like, you need to lighten up or no one's going to like you. Maybe people still don't like me. This looks like something 1980s Buck Rogers would play. Well, that's possibly true. All right, Kevin says H3 to H4. So we have H3 to H4, moving this piece down there. All right, now see, here's where I could say I'm going to capture this piece. I'm not going to. I'm just showing for an example. And that would be great, right? I've captured a 2-point piece, but now you control this queen, and you could easily come back and land over here, and then I would not have a chance to do it. But I'm going to do this anyway because I have an idea here. So, oh, do I want to do that? Yeah, I do. So I'm going to go here. I've now captured a 2 piece, but this queen is now your piece. And a queen can move in any direction, diagonally, horizontally, or vertically. Now, for those coming in, the colors here don't matter. I'm just using black, white, and yellow to show the different sides of the piece because on camera it might not be as easy to tell the various sizes, and it's a lot easier just to show this. But you can play with any mixture of colors you want. The colors don't matter in this particular game. Some of us are just rules followers, Tom. It's okay, but your dad gave you good advice. Again, I'm not saying it's right to break rules. I'm not excusing the rule breaker, but I think sometimes, and this especially comes into play when we teach new people games, right? Because rules are going to be broken by them and what have you. And if we are like all upset about the rules, we kind of fulfill that whole I'm a nerd mindset that people have. Now, I think you should follow the rules if at all possible. Any piece on the right side of the board is yours. Yes. Is this game really featured in the Pyramid Arcade box? Yes. Kevin says E1 to A1. So Kevin is going to capture my queen here. So now you guys have just got 3 points. So there's 3 to 3. My response to that will be to take my queen and slide all the way across over here. Again, I'm giving you a queen, but I've captured another one of your pieces, another one of your drones. So right now I have 5 points to your 3, and it's your turn. But you have 4 queens to my 1 queen. Remember, when all the pieces are off one side of the board, the game is over. So as the game progresses, it's possible that I might try to get all my pieces off the board if I'm ahead because I would win. If rules come at the cost of fun, it's not worth it. Every situation is different. Well, yes. Okay, so right now, because I think the game is this game is kind of fascinating to me because it's just interesting, this back and forth seesaw. Like I just captured another piece, haha, but now you have 4 queens to my one. But as soon as you move a queen over to my side, it's mine. I don't know. I just find that sort of thing fascinating. Pyramid Arcade, by the way, is great. It is so much fun to use these pyramids in various games. Interestingly enough, you'll notice that some of these pyramids are not from Pyramid Arcade. This one is, this one isn't. I can tell that because this is a pointy and this one is more rounded. All right, so Kevin says F3 to F4. There is no piece in F3 to go to F4. I apologize if I'm making the board look confusing for you guys, but I can't move F3 to F4. Kevin said it again. F3 would be right here, going to F4 here. There's no piece to move from one to the other. Any piece can take any other piece. We don't have to worry about equal or lower ranks. So any piece can capture any other piece. Again, you guys can, so you're saying G3 to F4. All right, so there we go. Alrighty, in about a few minutes, we're going to switch the person in charge just so to keep the things moving along, so that different people have a chance to play. So, Kevin, you're going to make one more move, and then we'll switch to Jonathan. We're going to let Jonathan be there. All right, let me see here. So that's your guys' move. What will I do? What will I do? I'm going to move this piece up here. All right, your turn. All right, Kevin, this is your last move. After this, we're going to make Jonathan Chambers the rules lawyer, your next player. Nah, I'm just kidding. You're not really a rules lawyer. Well, you are, but you're not a bad one. For those of you tuning in, this is Martian Chess from the Pyramid Arcade. Actually, this is not just from the Pyramid Arcade. This is one of the earliest games that Looney Lab made with the pyramids. In this game, you're trying to capture a bunch of pieces from your opponents. These yellow pieces are worth 1, whites are worth 2, queens are worth 3. And these can move 2 in horizontal or vertically. These can move 1 diagonally, and these can move as far as they want in either direction. Once a piece moves across the river in the middle on your opponent's side, it becomes their piece. Once all the pieces on one side are gone, then the game is over. And we add up the points. So right now, I have 5 points, 2, 4, 5, and the internet has 3 points. After that, yeah, so who knows? The game's still a bit from being over. H4 to G3. All right, moving into that position. All right, I'm going to move this guy here. Now, one of the rules about Martian chess is you can't undo the move exactly the way I moved it. So because I moved there, you're not allowed to move back here. You could move here if you wanted to, but you can't undo the exact move. All right, so thanks, Kevin. We're going to move on to Jonathan now. Jonathan will let Jonathan make some moves, and then when it helps me out best, I'll switch to somebody else. Can you move the taken black piece for our side back on the white border so we can see it? I know you can see it, but what we'll do is I'm going to put it up here at the top, kind of sticking off a little bit there on the top. I just don't want you to be confused. I'll lay it down. How's that? These make sense. If they're laying down, I don't want people to get confused and think that these pieces are pieces that can be played. Right, that's correct. Knights at the game table says you have to watch out for someone burning their piece if they have enough of a lead. Right. Right, and that's one of the things about this game is if someone's ahead, they're going to move all their pieces over to the other side so that they can win the game. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Dice Tower Live. All right, Jonathan says E3 to E4. This one here to this spot, that's not possible. Again, I apologize because these pieces can only move diagonally. It could go to D4, but it could not go to E4. Four queens to one. That's true. It is 4 queens to 1, but as soon as you move it off, it's 3 queens on 2. It's really interesting how the balance of the game shifts back and forth. The flavor text says in Martian chess, color means nothing. Instead, location determines which piece you may move. As in chess, each type of piece has its own way of moving. And you capture by entering an opponent's piece square. However, you can only move the pieces sitting in your own section of the board. And you can only attack pieces in another player's zone. Thus, a piece changes ownership after it attacks. The game ends when a player has no pieces left in their zone. E3 to D4. Yeah, that's probably what I would have done. I think, though, that I'm going to move this piece here. All right. So now you have most of the pieces of the game. And again, remember, you cannot move a piece back to where it just came from. So this piece can't come back here and do that. It's strange playing against Tom. I've been watching him since the channel was small, so this is like playing against Bugs Bunny. I would hope I'm not as annoying as Bugs Bunny. Bugs Bunny's funny to watch, but can you imagine playing a game against him? The game actually encourages you to mix up the colors when you're playing with other people, just so that colors don't have any meaning. But if you're like me, you can get a whole pile of one color, and so you could just play with one color. I won an auction at Board Game Geek Con, a charity auction, for a ton of pyramids. So my box is just chock full of pyramids. Shane wants to go next. Sure, Shane, but we're going to let Jonathan have a few moves, and then we'll switch over to Shane. So lots of different moves are being taken, are being given here to Jonathan, who is now feeling the pressure of being the one to make the moves. It's a little bit tougher in that case. Bugs Bunny would be singing and playing a ukulele at the same time. Yeah, that's correct. Some people are saying move E3 to E2. Some people are saying move F1 to D1. Some people are saying move E3 to E4. That's actually, yes. There's all sorts of different moves that are being suggested, but Jonathan is the one who is deciding here. So Jonathan says E3 to E2. So moving this piece to here. So in this case, I'm going to use my queen and take your queen like that. Now you have 4 queens and I have 0. So again, I'm down to 4 pieces on my side, but if these 4 pieces are off my side, so sometimes in Martian chess, you will move a piece onto your opponent's side just to keep the game going. And I don't have a queen, so now if I don't have a queen, on my turn, I'm allowed to make a field promotion. I can move a drone into a pawn's square, or vice versa, and merge them. So if I merge it together, it can become a queen. So right now the score is 3, 4, 5, 8 to 3. And now it's your turn, but you still have a chance to come back. But see, here's what's interesting. Even though you have more pieces, I have fewer pieces to capture. It's 8 to 3, but 2, 3, 4, 5. I only have 5 points worth of stuff to capture. Even if you captured it, that would still end the game in a tie. However, if you move pieces across here, like that's what I did. I moved this piece over here, this one here, so that I could then capture it. Of course, you moved it out of the way, which now let me capture a better piece. But it's kind of intriguing how you can go back and forth like that. So a lot of people here are saying now E2 to C2 or F1 to D1, but Jonathan picks E2 to C2. So doing what I just said, moving this piece across like that. No, E2 to C2, sorry. E2 to C2. C2 is here. So now you've captured a piece. Okay, so you captured a small piece and put another piece on my side. I think that I'm going to move this piece there. All right, so again, I'm just getting all the pieces on your side of the board. Various things can be done. You need to get that drone out of the top row. Someone says R2 to D2. Oh, that would be funny. I should have actually put like a row R so that we could do the R2 D2 move. Well, hey, it's good morning here. It's now 7 a.m. Thanks everyone for watching. If you're watching this, I'd like you to consider backing our Dice Tower fundraiser, which is going on right now. We had a decent first day. I would like to continue that. We are going to continue to try to put out good videos for you all year round. I actually record a lot of my videos at this point in time because I'm usually pretty awake in the morning. In fact, I should be sipping my tea here. I hope you guys don't mind. I'll try not to sip into the microphone. Greetings from Austria. Well, hello. Are those stains on the board or is that the design? That's the design. If they're not stains, they're like little circles. As you can see, they're kind of, those would be really perfectly done stains. So lots of different moves that people are offering. The most common one is F1 to D1. And that's what Jonathan is doing. So he moved the piece over here, which is going to give him a chance to capture his own piece with that queen. I'm going to use the move where I don't have a queen, so I'm going to do a field promotion. So I'm going to move the drone into the pawn and turn them into a queen. So I would pull these both off the board like this, placing them here, and this one becomes a queen. All right, it's your turn. So I have 2 drones and a queen on my side. You have 4 queens, a drone, and 3 pawns on your side. Tea, not coffee. Yeah, I try coffee about once every 6 months. I drink a small cup of coffee and I hate it. And I wish I liked coffee more because I go to meetings, I go to places, and people are like, would you like a cup of coffee? And I'll say, well, no, what else do you have? And they have nothing. Everyone's always drinking coffee, so it's unfortunate. I think I liked Britain when I went there because, hey, everyone drank tea there. So maybe I'll come live in the UK. But I drink 1 cup of tea in the morning, that's it. And then the rest of the day, I try to drink water. Trying to lose some of the holiday weight that I put on. Last year, I lost 40 pounds and then gained 10 over the holiday season. So I'm trying to drop that back down. I'm down to like 6 that I've gained. I need to lose 6 more. Then I like to lose more than that. And this is not why you're here, but I'm trying to keep the pattern going. One person says, this game is brilliant. I agree. I really like this. Tom, do you have to have captured a queen to do that drone pawn combination? Not really. The rules don't say that. But if you could switch it with any queen, right? And I guess you could even pull one off the side of the board if you had to. The rules don't specifically say in that regard. All right, Jonathan, this is going to be your last move, and then whoever I say could go next. I think it was Shane, maybe. I don't remember who it was. We'll make the next move. So this is the last move that Jonathan is making. Lots of people are giving all sorts of moves. E3 to D4, E3 to D2, G2 to F2, G3 to G4, G1 to D1, E3 to D2. Woo! Is this the board it comes with? Yes, this is a 2-sided board. I'll show you the other side when we're done here. But there are many boards that the pyramid thing comes with. G1 to D1, you say is the least terrible move. So G1 to D1. So you capture this piece and put it here. I, of course, will respond by capturing your queen. And now it's your turn. It looks like I'm winning by a lot, and I am, but the game is still not over. And again, this is, as far as I can tell, it doesn't look like anyone who's on the internet has ever played this game before, so I obviously have an advantage here. You got to kind of think backwards. You're always setting yourself other pieces up to be captured by this piece. So anyway, that was Jonathan's move. I believe Shane is now the next person making moves. Mark says he wants to play next. Possibly, Mark. We'll see. The game could be over soon. All I have to do is get these two pieces off my side of the board. You got to get pieces on my side of the board. Okay, so Christopher says F2 to E1. Now again, I don't want to, I am very careful here not to criticize any of the moves you guys are making because this is your first time playing. So this is a whole new experience. But I'm hoping that some of you watching this play say, wow, this is a great game. Some people have asked me, why I kept Pyramid Arcade. This is one of the reasons. I just love, I also love the way the pyramids look. There's just a lot of cool different things. And it's a whole lot easier, by the way, for those of you who are commenting about the moves, to comment about the moves. When it's your turn to make the moves, it can probably be sweat-inducing. So E3 to D2 is what a lot of people are saying. Find a place where they serve coffee from AeroPress or Chemex and try it. It's completely different from the one being served on conventions. Yeah, it might be true. I don't know. I could try that, I suppose. But I don't think that's going to... even if I did like that, then I would have to still go to that same place to get the coffee that I liked. It's no big deal not liking coffee. It actually saves me a lot of money. Water tends to be free, for example. Declan says, big fan in Brisbane, Australia. Thanks for all your teachings. Well, I appreciate that, sir. Thanks so much. Shane has been given a lot of different moves here, Shane, so pick one and let's see what happens. Shane says, I think we lost. Well, maybe. It doesn't look good for you guys, but I never give up, never surrender, as Commander Taggart would say. E3 to D2. All right. Moving that piece up there. That's a good move. Good move. I would have probably done that. I think I'll move this piece here. Let me look. Yeah, like that. All right. Your turn. You could use the pyramids as count traps in a pinch. A game and gone defense. Yes, we were with Z talking yesterday about the amazing race where you have to run over a bunch of these pyramids. I think I would just, or four-sided dice, but these pyramids would be fine. Matthias says, I found out the Dice Hour some weeks ago. Since then, I only watch Dice Hour videos. Best channel by far. Thanks for all the great content. Well, I appreciate that. It's very nice of you to think so. Yeah, if they made Home Alone, the board gamers version, you know that pyramids would be involved somehow. So let's see. Someone suggests H1 to B1 or F2 to E1 are two different moves that are being suggested. I will sit here and drink some tea. By the way, guys, I guess I could answer some questions while we're looking at these and waiting for the moves. So if you have a question or two, you can always ask them. Let's see here. Oh, wow, lots of different moves. I'm kind of enjoying this because the moves aren't like not obvious. Like as I look at the different moves that people are suggesting here, I see H1 to B1, F2 to E1, F4 to E3, F2 to E3, D3 to C3, G2 to A2, G3 to C3, and F4 to E4 or E3. That's all sorts of different things here. Except one person said, "Don't take my suggestion. Bad move." Shane says G3 to B3. So G3 is here. B3 is here. Oh, G3, sorry, to B3. All right, so interesting. So you put a piece on my side. I think I'm going to go here and take your pawn, giving you another queen. So it's 3 queens to 1. Anyhow, if you have any questions about anything in general, about the Dice Tower or such, as you're coming in and watching, I'll be glad to answer some of those. Was there something specific that changed your mind about live streaming a marathon? Not too long ago, you seemed very opposed to it. Now, one for 30 hours. Well, there's several things that work behind the scenes of these. The 30-hour marathon, no, was an idea that I came up to when I was talking to Rob Oren. It just kind of popped in my head. I was like, wait, what if we just made people go to sleep in the middle of the marathon? Like, hey, go take 8 hours. And what if I brought in All right, sorry about that. I got the mic back. Batteries ran out, but we were able to switch those quickly. Huh, that's weird that the mic died like that. Okay. Anyhow, let's see if you guys have made a move in that time. Shane says H1 to B1. All right, so we have H1 to B1, moving a piece over here. That's a good move. All right. I'm going to move this piece here. All right, so the marathon question again. Someone asked, why did I change my mind about the marathon? It's because I just figured that it was a good way to switch. Marathons are never really a... I had a conversation with Rob Oren, and we were talking about, it just came to my mind. I was like, wait a minute, what if we went to sleep in the middle of the marathon? And we all got like at least 6 hours of sleep. And also we're not on camera the whole time. So 4 people play a game and then I switch out. So the idea here with the marathon is we're going to have 10 different people, possibly 11 or 12. I'm working on getting a couple more people there. And if everyone takes turns being on camera at different points in time, it will certainly help with the overall exhaustion from being on camera the whole time. And so you could be off camera and make people sleep and everything. So that's the marathon thing. I think getting sleep will make a big difference in that regard. Okay, so I had some other questions too, why the sound was out, that I answered into my dead mic. And let's see. Do you have all your Battle Lore expansions in the base box? I said, yes, I do. It's all squished in there. I'm not really sure how that's happening. Okay, so still waiting for you guys' moves. So someone just came in and says, how do you tell whose pieces are whose? Easy enough. These are mine. These are yours. Whichever side of the board they're on, those are the pieces that you control. Someone said they have a good game. How do you approach publishers? Well, you might take a video of your game and how it plays and send that to publishers, but it needs to be short. That's the whole thing. Your pitch needs to be really short. So Shane says F4 to E4. So this is F4 to E4, moving here. So with that being said, I will then go and capture this piece here. All right, so that's your turn. I'm looking for games that work great solo, but also for multiple players. I'm not the best person to ask about solo. The one thing that I'm that I would recommend there is Mansions of Madness. I've actually thought about playing Mansions of Madness live for you guys to watch, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure how well that would work showing the iPad and the board. I have to move the camera around the whole time. If you hit the RPG session stretch goal, who's going to GM? Because if you need someone, I volunteer. I will take you up on that probably, Justin. So we'll get in touch about that. But that's even if we hit that stretch goal. Justin, I also sent you an email, so if you can look that up. My question about publishers was more of a who than how. Where can I find a good, complete list of publishers? Just online. Honestly, if you don't know what publisher will publish your game, then you need to start learning about publishers and getting online and looking at publishers and learning them. When will the marathon be? It's going to be next Thursday and next Friday. I'll be scheduling it up soon. I already have most of the games scheduled. All right, let's see. Has Shane made a move yet? I'm not seeing it. I see lots of people giving him moves. Someone says, man, this game is tricky. And yes, it certainly is. When a person approaches a publisher with a game and they decide to publish it, how much percentage does the game inventor designer usually get? You might get 4 or 5%, which doesn't seem like a lot, but you have to remember no one else is getting a ton of money from that game either. They're not getting 95% of it. A lot of that money is going to overhead and producing the game and so on and so forth. And also, I mean, if you're a bigger known designer, you might get a better percentage or what have you. And remember, your percentage also comes from the cost of the game. All right, let me see if Shane has made a move or not. If Shane hasn't made a move, I'm going to have to pass the moving to somebody else because it's been a while. How is replayability mentioned in Madness 2nd Edition? Replayability seems fine to me. Next Thursday, Friday, that's right in the middle of Awesome Games Done Quick. I don't even know what that is. E4 to C4. So E4 to C4, moving across. All right. That was not the reverse of your move. You went from E4 to C4, and then I just went from C4 to E2. The upcoming Arcadia Quest, did you play it already? I played a little bit of the new Arcadia Quest, and I honestly don't remember much about it, except I remember loving playing with the pets, and I cannot tell you guys how pumped I am to have a pet in our fundraiser. Speaking of which, good morning, everybody who's joining us for the first time. There is a Dice Tower fundraiser going on right now. If you're interested in that, check out our website, dicetower.com. There's a link right there to it. If you'd like to back it, we have a wonderful amount of fantastic prizes and promos and all sorts of cool things there. Maybe you could do a Mansions of Madness solo play once you find a Dice Tower headquarters. Well, you're assuming we're going to hit that stretch goal, but sure. That way you could utilize overhead and other secondary cameras. Yes, I would really like to get a stationary overhead camera. That may not come right with a headquarters because that would require me to get a rig and an overhead camera, but we'd like to get things. So people are giving different moves here. E2 to C2. Shane says E1 to C1. So moving this piece here. Ooh. All right. Well, then I'm just going to do this, which I believe is likely the game at this point. I think if you capture every other piece, you guys could win. Nah, but that would require you to do some moves there. So that may be the game. I'm not quite sure yet. Again, For those watching, it's really tough to make these moves, especially if you've not played before. My goal of this is not to be like, ha ha ha, Tom beat the internet, although I might say that as soon as I turn off the camera and go downstairs and raise my tea mug high and say I've just beat some people who never played a game before. But my goal is to show you guys Pyramid Arcade and just really kind of how cool it is. It's just one of the games that's included. Now, it might be one of the best games in here. Quick question for Tom. Do you lose the cut from PayPal? So would you still prefer to be paid by credit card? It doesn't matter to me, I think, which methodology you use to pay. I think the PayPal method and the credit card percentage that both of them take off, I want to say they're very close to the same, so I don't think it matters. Flip the table. There's a promo for Battleground Fantasy Warfare in the current campaign. Will that be for the 2005 edition or the new upcoming edition? It's for the new upcoming edition. I'm really excited about the new Battleground Fantasy Warfare. What game are we playing next? I'm not sure. We're going to play another game here because at 7:30 I should probably record a few more reviews. But we will be doing some more live stuff later on today, if I can. I've already talked to Melody, and Melody and I might play a live game today. I might play a live game tonight, too. I'm in the mood to do lots of live stuff, so we'll see. I'm not quite sure what we'll do. I was thinking maybe me and Melody could play a heavy-style Euro game on camera, which wouldn't be that exciting, but could be interesting. So right now, Shane says G2 to G4. And then I'm going to move this one here. No, wait. Yeah, here. Yes. Let me see here. There are 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 possible points left for you guys. All right, right now you have 6 points and I have 6. I have 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You could technically still win. Kickstarter looks to be going well. It's not Kickstarter, but fundraiser. Are you ahead of last year at this time? I don't think we are. We might be slightly behind. Does it seem that switching to Indiegogo has hurt? Well, what I think Indiegogo does, because you have to pay up front with Indiegogo, people are thinking twice about doing it, and that's fine. I think people should think twice. In the long run, will it hurt us? Will we not reach our funding? It's possible that we still won't reach our funding. We'll have to wait and see. I never assume anything. Once we hit our funding, I think I'll be able to... Yeah, I think that's why I'm so wide awake right now, because I'm still pretty stressed about the whole thing. Until we reach our funding, I'm going to be all stressed. I'd like to see Jason more often if possible. Hey, well, the good news about Jason is tomorrow, Jason's going to come over, and we're going to play a live game of Star Wars Destiny. I know that you guys have been, that game's pretty hot these days, and Jason has everything for Star Wars Destiny, so that will probably be at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday. Like I said, I'm really just kind of pumped and here to play different games this week, various games throughout the week. So, do you think Melody will inherit your channel if it outlives you? Well, you know, that's up to Melody. I've never wanted Melody to feel like she has to take over the Dice Tower when I'm done. That's not ever been the case. If she wants to, she can, but I never want her to feel like she has to. Shane says E2 to C2. Get so caught up in talking here that I'm going to move C2 to C1. Okay, anyway. Tom, a personal question, so I totally understand if you don't want to answer, and I know your story. I don't have kids yet, but what's your opinion on the father wanting to play with either boys or girls? You're going to have to ask that more. I don't actually understand that question. Tom, I love worker placements like it's a Water Deep Viticulture Manhattan Project. Can you recommend similar games you like? Well, the Alien Frontiers is kind of a worker placement game that I like very much, and the Western game, whose name is going through my mind here. What's that game called? Okay, well, if it pops in my head, I'll say it. Jonathan says her reviews have come a long way. I remember back in days when the best review you get from her was the artwork was good, so I like it. Well, that's fine. I mean, that's how everyone is going to be, right? Melody is just getting better about games in general. Have I heard of a game coming out called Thornwatch? Oh, someone says Tom is gifting points here. Well, there's a reason for that. I want the game to end. So my goal is for you guys to lose in that regard. Anyway, Varga clarifies his question. By the way, Thornwatch, I've heard of it briefly, but I'll just wait till it comes out before I think much more about it. Varga says, I mean, what's the anticipation? Did it turn out the way you imagined? I guess. I wanted to play games with my kids, so yeah, I guess it turned out the way I imagined. I don't think having a boy or girl changes that at all in any way. Shane says E1 to C3. Intriguing. That's my move. All right, great. Oh, Carson City. Carson City is the game. Yes, you're right. Carson City is a very fun worker placement game, although there's a little bit more take-that-ness to it. Varga clarifies more. To clarify my question, before you had kids, did you maybe imagine playing boy games with boys? How did that really turn out? I don't know. You know what I guess what I imagined was not playing boy games with boys. I thought about, getting G.I. Joes and Transformers, although girls can play with that stuff too, so it doesn't really matter. I think my perception on which toys boys like and girls like and which games boys like and girls like has changed over the years. I never really thought much about it. To be honest, I thought more about like, ooh, a G.I. Joe collection. I'll get it for a son someday. And then my daughters came along and I just forgot all about it. And they were never that interested in G.I. Joe. I would have got it for them if they wanted to. I tend to like things like Legos anyway because they encourage building. But for boys, I mean, Melody plays quote-unquote boys games and such, although, as you guys can see, she's turning into a pretty heavy Euro gamer. What would you recommend for a 4.5-year-old boy that shows major interest in both board and card games? I don't know. I would just start getting some of the hobby games for any child of that age. Again, I don't really think games tend to lend themselves along gender lines. I don't think that matters as much. I think pretty much anybody can play any game. I mean, I certainly think that there are toys that lend themselves, perhaps. No, I don't even want. I'm not even jumping into that thing. For as it is, for board games specifically, I think that anyone can play any of them. Toy-wise, same thing. F2 to E3. Shane is just surrendering. Prolonging the inevitable. All right. So when I take that piece, can you guys still win? We have 5, 8, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17 to 6. So I'm 11 points ahead. 9, 10, 11. The best you could do would be tie me at this point. So I apologize. I'm going to have to call it here. Because, yes, you could capture me here. And then I would just move a piece onto the other side of the board and I would win. So that's how you play Martian chess. I apologize. I know I won there, but again, you guys did not have the, it's kind of a game you have to wrap your mind around. But it's a really good game. I really like this. I said I would show you the other side of the board. Whoop! This is like a map of the world. This is for like a Risk style game that you can play. But that's pretty much all I'm going to talk about right now, folks. Hey, good morning. Look for a live streaming thing sometime later today. I got to record a couple reviews here and, get going today. We're going to have a pile of reviews that go up today. Let's see. I'm going to be reviewing the new Cosmic Encounter expansion is happening today and a few other things. We also have my top 10 kid games of 2016. Don't worry, that's the last top 10 list of 2016. We'll be moving on from there and going into 2017. In fact, later on this week, we'll be doing a video of the top 2017. Thanks, guys, so much for playing. Did the audio go out again? It did not go out again. Okay. Thanks so much for watching. Consider backing the Dice Tower fundraiser. And if not, I had a great time spending the morning with you guys. Until next time, I'm Tom Vassell, and you've been watching the Dice Tower. And we're switching key.